Turning now to the coronavirus pandemic, the number of global coronavirus cases now surging past 25 million. India is the latest major hotspot, the country setting a record yesterday for daily new cases anywhere. The single-day tally of new COVID-19 infections, more than 78,000. Before that, the United States had the highest daily increase. Right now, the U.S. has topped 6 million. Now, here in Georgia, the number of deaths remain high, but the number of reported cases and hospitalizations appear to be on the decline statewide. The Department of Health reported nearly 1,200 new cases yesterday. That is much lower than the current 14-day average of nearly 2,300 new cases a day, and even lower than the previous 14-day average, which was 3,100. Now, 28 new deaths were reported Sunday, and while deaths appear to be leveling out, those numbers are still high. The current 14-day average is about 64 deaths per day, which is higher than the previous 14-day average.